Hey everyone, it's Josh Kepkay with McDonald Realty. I feel like I let you down with the less than well-researched market video last week. So here is the version in which I've done all my homework. Now, these numbers though, know that they are from January 15th, which is about half a month's data. I will stress that the first half of January is not as busy as the second half. It's almost always busier in the second half of January than it is in the first half. So, looking at all the areas in the Greater Vancouver Real Estate Board. 313 detached sales so far, and the extrapolation is for 646 at the end of the month. A year ago it was 443. We have 2,722 listings on the market as of January 15th. That's a 4.2 months supply. So for single family detached homes, we are in a seller's market. And it's looking like it's going to be stronger for houses than in the same month a year ago. Moving on to attached homes and townhomes. We are projecting 364 sales. A year ago was 318. There's over 1,100 on the market, lower than last year at the end of the month. That translates to a 3.1 months of supply. So townhouses is a seller's market with the tightest or the lowest number of months of supply for the three categories. Apartments, we have 463 sales so far, projecting 957. A year ago was 814. There's 4,230 on the market. That's a 4.4 months supply. Again, a seller's market. Want to note with the apartment supply, it's 24% higher at the end of this month than it was at the end of this month last year, which was 3,411. So more selection at this time than there was a year ago. Total sales for the overall board, I'm projecting just under 2,000. A year ago was 1,575. We're 952 right now. There's almost 8,100 listings on the market right now, so that's a 4.1 month supply overall. It's going to be a better month for the overall, this month for the overall board. And that's not surprising given what we've seen. The market was so strong at the end of last year, and it's starting off quite strong as well too. So moving on to Vancouver West, we have 27 sales as of January 15th. We're projecting 56 sales. There's 398 houses on the market, which is significantly lower than the 528 a year ago. That's 7.1 months of supply. It's a buyer's market for houses in the west side as of January 15th. Townhouses, 35 is the projection. A year ago it was 30. There's 17 sales so far. There's 201 on the market. That's a 5.7 months supply for a balanced market of townhomes on the west side. Looking at apartments, we're projecting 27. A year ago it was 210. There's 1,250 on the market. That's up from 950 at the end of January a year ago. So 5.5 months supply. It's a balanced market. Total sales at 154 as of January 15th, about 275 at the end of last year for this month. So we're projecting 318. It's going to be slightly better month for the west side market in 2021, we believe. Moving on to the east side. The east side is quite interesting. The detached part of the east side market is very strong, and that's been the case for many, many months, if not years. We're projecting 107 sales. Last year there was 53, so we've more than doubled. We're already at 52 as of the 15th of the month. There's just under 300 on the market. A year ago there were 350 at the end of the month, so 2.8 months of supply. This is the hottest category in the city of Vancouver right now. Then we move on to townhomes. Only 13 sales so far. There were 30 a year ago. We were projecting 27 for the end of the month, which will be less than the same month a year ago. This will likely change as we get towards the end of January, but it's slower right now than the pace that was the whole month of last year. 5.3 months of supply. It's a balanced market for townhome sales on the east side as we speak. Apartments, projecting 64. A year ago there was 78 during the entire month. There's only 31 as of the 15th. There's 391 on the market as opposed to 271 at the end of the month last year. That's a 44% increase, so there's definitely more supply for a 6.1 month supply, a balanced market. So total sales we're projecting 198, which will still be higher than a year ago with 96 sales so far. So what's interesting is as much as the market's projected to be busier this January compared to last January for the east side, Where all the action is in detached. It's not in townhomes and apartments right now. So that's interesting for the east side market, I think. Things will change as we go forward. I also wanted to just take a minute and go back and look at what happened last year. Last year on the west side for detached sales, we ended off the year with 84 sales in December. That was 59, there was 59 the year before in December. We have to go back to 2015 to find a better month for detached sales. We had 929 detached sales total for the year, and that was better than 2019 where we had 761, and better than 2018 when we had 705. So this year was definitely the best we had in the last 3 years. December was the best we had in 5 years, in fact. It was the busiest month for detached sales. The busiest month of the year was October, followed by March, then by September, November, and then August. So it was a pretty good last half of the year for detached sales for the west side. For listings, we ended up at the end of the year with 440, which is lower than the 10-year average of 548. A year ago, we had 555 at the end of December, and at the end of November was 529. So less supply for detached sales. Townhouses, we had 38, which is only one more than the 37 we had last year, down from 60, which we had in November. So that slowed down. Detached sales were surprisingly stronger. Townhouse sales not as strong at the end of the year. The number of listings at the end of the year was 206 for townhomes. Apartment sales, they were 364. A year ago it was 260. Apartment sales for December was the strongest it's been in the last 10 years. It was higher than November where we had 315. So we ended off apartment sales in December really, really good. The number of listings was 1,359, which is down significantly from 1,763 in November, and higher than 909, which was at the end of December in 2019. So total apartment sales in 2020 was 3,463, the best in the last 3 years. Total sales for the west side in December was 488, and the best in 10 years. And it's higher than in November, surprisingly. A year ago was 356. November was 470. The east side, we ended up at the end of the month with 348. A year ago was 207. And that was the best December for total sales in the east side in 10 years. You've seen a trend. The last 4 months of 2020 were very, very good. I know I mentioned previously that September was a record. The best September ever was 2020. The best December was in 2020. The second best October and second best November was in 2020. So the last 4 months of 2020, I think, were the busiest 4 months in many years. So the market ended off very, very strong. Of course, it was not very good in the spring, and I know that there's a lot of optimism going into this year, and we shall see how it plays out. You know, COVID is still an issue. And I think, unfortunately, we still have a ways to go before COVID is going to look a little bit more positive. I think by the time we get into April, the vaccinations will be going up, and by the time we're in September, things will sort of, kind of return to a near normal. But we've got to get through the next 2 or 3 months as far as COVID goes before we're gonna see things looking more positive. So I hope I'm wrong. I think I'm gonna be right. We'll see. Anyway, I'm Realtor Josh Kepkay at McDonald Realty. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and follow and comment, and send me a DM if you have a specific question about your situation that you'd like to keep private. I'm always happy to be of help, and you can reach me direct at 604-313-9805. Bye for now. Maybe watch this on half speed if you can do that.